Hey, Pretty Girl Club. I just wanted to talk my shit today. I haven't done one of these episodes in a while, so this is another unpopular opinions video. Okay, so number one, a lot of unattractive people want to either date somebody attractive or they want to create attractive children. Because have you ever noticed it's always the people who do not have the pretty privilege who are bragging the most about how their partner looks? They'll be like, oh, well, my boyfriend looks like this. Well, my kids look like this. Well, my son, my daughter, my sister, my brother, my family member looks like XYZ. And it's like, okay, you're bragging about your friends and family members' aesthetic because you can't brag about your own. That's one of the main signs that you yourself do not have pretty privilege. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with being ugly. As a matter of fact, unpopular opinion number two, there's nothing wrong with being ugly if beauty is not valuable to you. Everybody doesn't want pretty privilege. Everybody doesn't care about beauty. So my thing is, if somebody wants to be ugly, that's fine. Just go and be ugly in peace. Don't try to tear down the pretty privileged people because then you're making yourself look envious. Number two, Michael B. Jordan and Steve Harvey look alike. Yeah, I said it. That's my unpopular opinion. Okay, they have the same teeth, same bone structure, same side profile, nose, lips, chin. They look alike. You guys know my opinions on Michael B. Jordan. Not only do I not think he's attractive, I actually think he's extremely unattractive. I'm sorry, I just don't know what it is. Well, actually, I do know what it is. It's the nose, the lips, the chin, the teeth, the jawline, the haircut. That's what it is. There's nothing wrong with him. Like, I guess other people like him a lot, but I'm sorry, I just don't like him. Oh, and that leads me to my next unpopular opinion. I had to just insert this in here. I support men getting plastic surgery because I'm coming across these pictures of Michael B. Jordan, and I see why he got like the whole jawline thing done. Some of these guys need help, okay? So before they start talking about women and weaves and makeup, no, sir, you need to go to a plastic surgeon immediately. Speaking of him, I did not know that Michael Jordan was dark skinned until I saw the Sinners movie. So that's just random. And you know what? As a matter of fact, let's talk about light skin catfishing. Okay, I'm not saying that Michael B. Jordan has done this, but no, he has. I'm interrupting while editing to say that he has or his team has because how is it, unless they put him in blackface in the Sinners movie, I don't know. I mean, I've never seen any movies with him in it until the Sinners movie. I had no idea that he was dark skinned. I was thinking he was like a deep caramel, kind of like I don't know, maybe Meg the Stallion or like a deep caramel to like a very bright cocoa, just because of some of the images that I've seen marketed of Michael B. Jordan. Light skin catfishing is way more common than we think. And I find it interesting how people try to accuse us exoticals of like being bleachers or, you know, coming up with fake identities or pretending we're multiracial. And it's like, there are hundreds of thousands of unambiguous dark skinned people who are literally only taking photos during golden hour so they can look as light as possible. And they're only taking photos in the sunlight because they're complaining about how you can't see their features when it's dark outside. That's a lie. When I'm walking down the street, if it's raining outside and it's dark, I can still see dark-skinned people. So that whole excuse that, oh no, you can't see my face, like you can't see my features at all if I'm in the shade, no, that's actually false. And also, if a light-skinned person were to say that to you, like, oh, you disappeared because the sun went down, wouldn't you call them colorist? So I feel like they do a lot of gaslighting, and then I've noticed that they'll do like extreme lighting, extreme posing in a way to which they don't want to show any photos of themselves looking dark-skinned, and then have the audacity to project that onto lighter-skinned people. When I saw the pictures of him with Lori Harvey, I guess I naturally imagined him as having kind of this almost like a light brown, kind of like Meg the Stallion skin tone. That's kind of how I imagined him. In the Sinners movie, he was giving like chocolate, like dark chocolate. There is no light brown, cinnamon, nutmeg, bronze. No, it's giving chocolate. It's giving ebony. It's giving like Hershey's bar. And that leads me to unpopular opinion number three. A lot of dark-skinned, unambiguous people catfish in their photos. There have been so many times where I've literally seen somebody's Instagram photos and then I see them in person and they look completely different. Like there's this one girl that I knew. She showed images of herself. It was like her LinkedIn profile. She was Gabrielle Union's skin complexion, like in her photos. And then I saw her in real life. She was Lupita Nyong'o's. She was probably darker than Lupita Nyong'o, like in real life. So a lot of times when people try to say that light-skinned people are trying to make ourselves look lighter, or we're colorist, we're trying to stay as light-skinned as possible, that's actually projection, because a lot of people are over here editing the crap out of their photos, making themselves 25 shades lighter. You're going from being darker than Lupita Nyong'o to freaking Gabrielle Union's skin tone. And you think that you can get away with it because, oh, it's technically still dark. It's still not light skin. It's like, okay, but it's still enough for me to notice a difference. If you look unrecognizable in person compared to your photos, you are a catfish. I said what I said. That's called catfishing. And I've also noticed too that a lot of people who are catfish, these same people, they'll talk shit about mixed race women. They'll talk shit about lighter skinned women, but then their whole entire avatar will be a mixed race or a light skinned celebrity. And then they'll brag about their spouse being mixed race, or they will be attracted to our counterparts who have the same phenotype. So it's like, we can see right through the bullshit. We know that you think that our phenotypes are attractive. Just bow down and kiss the ring and be done. Number 4, unpopular opinion. Men and women cannot be friends, especially if the woman has pretty privilege. I said what I said. So if you have a boyfriend and he has a female friend and she's very pretty, I'm sorry, but your boyfriend wants to fuck that girl. He's definitely fantasizing about that girl. He is emotionally cheating with that girl. Have you ever noticed this? Men go out of their way to make friends with the pretty girls. They don't try to make friends with the most ugly, repulsive woman in the room. They don't. They only treat women like human beings if they're pretty. And in some cases, they still don't even treat women like human beings. So that's how I know that men are basing a lot of their social interactions on the possibility of a relationship or sex. Oh, and that leads me to my next unpopular opinion. I actually think that men want relationships more than women do. I think men in general, they want women way more than we want them. And a lot of women only focus on how men just want sex. No, men actually want relationships more than women because a lot of men are very validation starved. They're validation starved. A lot of times when they go out into the real world, they don't get a lot of attention, and especially not romantic attention. So that's why you see so much physical cheating amongst men. You see a lot of emotional cheating because they're starved. They're emotionally vapid in a lot of cases. So they're looking to a woman to fulfill their own emotional voids. Number 6, fillers. Change your entire facial structure over time. I said what I said. I've never seen somebody consistently get fillers and look exactly the same 5 years later. They don't. Because the fillers, they naturally kind of like pile on top of each other. You have to get the fillers topped up. And especially if you're getting something like jawline filler, you're getting cheek filler, you're getting smile line filler. Okay, if you're gradually increasing the amount of fillers over time, and then you keep getting the fillers in parts of your face that are right next to each other, for example, your smile lines and your lips, then your face is going to look different. It's going to look different. And a lot of girls that overdo the fillers, the reason why people say like, oh, everybody looks the same in LA or everybody has the same aesthetic, well, it's because the fillers themselves, that's liquid. So yeah, it's naturally kind of, it's just puffing up the face. It's kind of changing the facial structure. You can't really see the bone structure of your face depending on how much of it you get. So yes, a lot of them do end up having a little bit of the pie face as time goes on. And I just feel like a lot of women use fillers as a cheap replacement for plastic surgery. Like if you want to get the surgery, just get the surgery. You don't have to get 25 units of filler. Like just get the cheek lift, just get the face lift, just get the new lips, just get a lip lift. Whatever it is you're trying to do with the fillers, you would have been better off just getting a straight up surgery as opposed to spending the same amount of money over time. You're spending the same amount of money because fillers can get very expensive. They can go up into the thousands. So it's like, okay, if you're going to spend thousands of dollars over the course of 5 years, you could have just saved up your money for 5 years and just got a straight up surgery. Unpopular opinion number 6. Compression garments are highly underrated. Waist trainers, those little chin strap things, the little the booty shorts that you put on, it helps your butt to naturally prop up. Those jackets and those like little corsets and bras that help your boobs to naturally stop sagging. All of that is so underrated. And I feel like a lot of people in the beauty industry, they don't want you to use the cheaper products because they're going to lose customers. So it's like, yeah, of course, a person that is specializing in fillers, of course, they don't want you to use any other beauty enhancements. Of course, the surgeon doesn't want you to use the cheap beauty enhancements. So a lot of women, when they get their beauty treatments, They're not looking at all the possible options. They just go for whatever's the most popular. And it's like, okay, but does that even go with your face? Number 7, a lot of people who make fun of women and say they look like monkeys, they're saying it because those women have a long philtrum and a thin upper lip. I am convinced that that is why people say that. Every time they call somebody unattractive or ugly, it's always a woman that has that long philtrum and thin upper lip. So there's nothing wrong with it. Just know that that's why that person is making those comments. So it's funny how they try to call Exoticals featurist. They'll be like, oh, you're featurist. And it's like, okay, you guys call anybody with a long philtrum unattractive. You guys call anybody with a thin upper lip and a long philtrum, you call them ugly. Whoopi Goldberg, Tiny, T.I.'s wife. Hazel E. is another example. All of those women have long philtrums, a slightly smaller upper lip, and a slightly larger nose. Those features are not inherently ugly. It's just that a lot of times in the Black community, they make fun of women who have features that are different than theirs. So if somebody's making fun of your lips, saying, haha, you have thin lips. Okay, the woman making fun of you, she has full lips. That's why she's making fun of you. She makes fun of anyone who does not look like herself. If they're making fun of your nose size, saying, oh, your nose is really big, okay, that person has a small nose. So they just make fun of anyone who doesn't have their aesthetic. So oftentimes when people call you ugly, it's not that you're actually ugly. It's that they're admitting that you look different than them. That's what it is. They're admitting that you look different than how they look. And so they're hoping to weaponize that to make you feel inferior. Number 8, generally speaking, facial surgeries tend to look phenomenal in photos and terrible in real life. An example of this is the Utah girl from Love Island. I cannot remember her name, but her surgeries irritate me. Okay, so she looks phenomenal on her Instagram. I think that her exact face structure, that bone structure with kind of that extreme pointed chin and the extreme cheekbones, they're super high and super wide, and like the large eyes, the lifted eyebrows, that looks phenomenal on photos. But in real life, it does not look the same. It doesn't hit the same. So if I had to choose between editing my photo or editing my actual face, I would just edit the photos. Like if it's that serious to have that exact face structure, why would I go and literally purchase a chin implant, get the cheek implant? Why would I go and get all that? For what? So I can look crazy in real life? If I had to choose between looking good in real life versus looking good only on Instagram, I would choose looking good in real life. Number 9, if you believe any of these Netflix TV shows are actually about love, you're not smart. Because anybody who says, oh, I came on here for love, they're a liar. That always got on my nerves. Like on Love Island, on Love is Blind, all these TV shows, they're like, oh, I just came on this show for love. You didn't come on here for love. You came on here for fame. It's like, no, all of you guys came on the show for both. You want love and you also want visibility and fame so that even if you do meet another person or whatever, they saw you on TV. So anytime I see people go on these reality shows like The Bachelor and then they're like, no, I'm actually on here for love. No, they're a liar. They want love and they also want visibility. Everybody wants visibility. I think I'm on number 9. Have you ever noticed that a lot of the red pill guys, these are some of the most unattractive men you've ever seen in your life. The main ones that are following that space, they're some of the most unattractive. They got a big ass beer belly. They have man boobs. It's like, how are your boobs bigger than mine? They have man boobs. They'll have a beer belly. They'll have a booty that's bigger than mine. Hips are way bigger than mine. Some of these men's teeth start falling out. Oh yeah, and that leads me to my next point, which is that men definitely hit the wall, and men hit the wall more than women. And I'm just talking about physical appearance right now. I'm just talking about looks. Don't even get me started on finances. But when it comes to physical looks, no, men are some of the worst when it comes to self-care. And it's like, how are you 40 years old and you still have acne? You had 4 decades to go to a dermatologist. You're telling me that you went to high school, you went to college, you graduated college, you got a whole career, you purchased a house, you became financially stable. You did all of that, and you didn't go to a dermatologist not once. You didn't try any new skincare products not one time. You didn't examine your diet at all. You're 40 years old, you still don't even know what your own allergies are. Some of these men are walking around with yellow teeth that are falling out because they haven't been to a dentist in 5 years. They haven't been to a dentist in 10 years. And it's like, do you think that us women don't notice that? Do you think that we don't notice that your teeth are literally falling out? Do you think we don't notice that you've had 20 years of teeth decay in your mouth. You think we don't notice the halitosis? Yeah, we notice it. We know that you have gingivitis. We know that you don't know what dental floss is. We know that you've never done a skincare routine in your life, and we're not settling. Women are tired of settling for the bullshit. So it's like, no, if you're going to be talking all this shit, if we have to deal with all this crap that comes with even being around a man, you need to at least have something taken care of in terms of your physical aesthetic. Otherwise, I'm not giving you the time of day. And that leads me to my next point. Dating an ugly man, that's not going to solve the problem. It's not. Some of us women, we don't want to date ugly men. We're not dating ugly men. We're not sleeping with ugly men. We're not talking to ugly men. We're not paying attention to ugly men. No, a man being ugly, that doesn't mean that he's going to be more of a provider or more loving or more kind. And he's going to treat me like a queen because he's ugly. No, if anything, those men are going to have even worse insecurities because they're going to be even more validation starved than like an attractive man. I feel like one of the worst decisions a woman can make is settling. So it's like you're settling for a guy, he's ugly. He's got the bald circle in the middle of his head, yellow teeth, boogers in his nose, allergies. He's got hypertension, diabetes, giant beer belly. You can't even go on a walk with this guy. You can't even work out without him huffing and puffing. So it's like this guy can barely even move. He can barely even walk. He has no stamina when it comes to sex. He literally will be in a food coma because he eats so much food for dinner. He eats so much greasy ass food, fried chicken, mac and cheese, collard greens, oxtails, hella tortillas, hella tacos, having a carb crash. So this man is literally collapsing on the couch every evening, and you expect women to settle for that? No, we're not settling for the bullshit. And that leads me to my next point. Dating is not for poor people. Okay, I said what I said. Dating is not for poor people unless you want to go 50-50, of course. Then you should date because, that's codependency. You can build yourself off of the back of a woman. Okay, so anytime a man is dating and he is poor or he is not where he wants to be financially, he has no financial stability, that man is codependent. He's looking for an employee. He wants an employee, not a wife. He wants an employee, not a girlfriend. So that's why you see a lot of men fighting so hard for 50-50. Who's fighting the most for 50-50? It's poor men. It's men who are not where they want to be financially. So of course they want 50-50. Of course they want a discount on their bills. He's got tens of thousands of dollars worth of student loan debt. He spends hundreds of dollars per month on video games. He spends thousands on his tennis shoe collection. He's got a high-ass car payment so he can drive his Tesla and pretend like he's wealthy when he's actually not. He has to pay high-ass insurance costs. And then you want to try to convince us women that you're not looking for an employee? No, you're definitely looking for an employee. You're looking for a business partner to help you to build yourself up so that you can have extra money so you can go and blow it all at the strip club or spend it on OnlyFans girls or pay money to go to a business conference so that you can meet the next woman who will be your next employee for the next level that you're trying to get to. Because a lot of men, they have a tendency to try to upgrade. They want to upgrade on their women or whatever. So it's like they'll be with one girl while they're poor. And then as soon as they get some money or some clout or fame, instantly that girl gets dropped. But that leads me to my next point. The most unattractive women tend to be the most male-centered. I said what I said. Because why is it that the women who are the pick-me's, they are the most jealous, the most competitive, the most desperate for a man, they get the most angry at who has pretty privilege. They're obsessed with how pretty is she and, what's this Instagram model doing or what are these girls doing? Why is it that those women are so competitive? I thought that you got picked and you're happy. No, it's because they don't feel like they have pretty privilege in real life. They don't feel like they get a pedestal in real life. They don't have a pedestal in society. The only place that they feel valuable and worthy is in the presence of a romantic relationship. That's the only place where they feel validated is in the context of romance. So they have a scarcity mindset and also being admired. They feel a need to be admired, which is not bad, but because they haven't been admired for their beauty, they feel like the only place for them is going to be in a romantic relationship. That's the only place where she finally feels seen. And that's still not enough. So that's why they're always focusing on single women. Have you ever noticed that? A lot of married women that are like in the red pill space or they're pick me. Well, first of all, a lot of them actually aren't married. A lot of the women like in the red pill space, generally speaking, they tend to not actually be in happy relationships. But even if they claim to be, they're still obsessed with what single women are doing. They're obsessed with what single women are wearing. What do we look like? What does our hair look like? How pretty are we? What does our skin look like? What do our features look like? Well, why would they be so focused on single women if they're so happy in their relationships? If their life is really that good, they wouldn't even have time to worry about what we're doing. I think I'm on number 12. Beauty is power, and it opens doors that talent alone cannot open. That's why you see pretty women getting famous and popular without having as much talent. It's because a lot of people value beauty over talent. So I know it sucks, especially like in the music industry and stuff. A lot of people value beauty over talent. And I'm talking about the fans. I'm not just talking about the executives in the music industry. Because the executives, they're going to invest in whatever makes them the most money. So if they know that a lot of people like Ice Spice or whatever rapper's coming out, they know that a lot of people like her because she's pretty. Okay, well, that's going to make them more money. There is a higher demand for beauty than there is for talent, such as singing or rapping. So that's why a lot of attractive people, they have an easier time in life because for whatever reason, human beings, they love beauty. And I talked about this in another video. Like, think about how you go on vacation. You want to see a beautiful sunset. You want to purchase a beautiful house. You want to have a beautiful car and beautiful children. Why does everything have to be beautiful? Well, humans are inherently obsessed with beauty on a subconscious level, whether they realize it or not. Oh, and speaking of human beings, my next unpopular opinion, I think aliens are real. I mean, I low-key think aliens are real because how could they not be real? Like, if humans exist, then how could another version of humans, aka aliens, how could that not exist? If there are already so many living species on this earth, you got animals, you got insects, you got all different types of life. Why is it that when it comes to humans, we're the only ones, or we're like the most smart people in the universe and like nobody else could exist? It's like, no, if Earth exists with all of these billions of people on it, I mean, how do I know that there's not another Earth out there with other beings on it? So that's my next unpopular opinion. Like, I low-key believe in like some other form of life other than just like human beings. Now, are they green people with large black eyes and like do they make weird sounds? I don't know. But as far as there being other human-like beings, yeah, that makes sense to me. Because it doesn't really seem plausible that we are just automatically the center of the universe. That just doesn't even make sense. And even if you look at those science TV shows and stuff where they talk about the universe seems so vast to the point where it's like, yeah, how could there not be any other form of life anywhere? My next unpopular opinion, I kind of believe in subliminals. And that's because a lot of people say that subliminals, it's like the placebo effect. So the placebo effect means that it's something that's technically not real. Like, it's not magical, but it's still working because you believe that it can work. And it's like, okay, so then if I believe that something works and then it works, then it's no longer a placebo. So that's something I never understood about the science community. It's like, okay, you're calling things placebos when that person is still getting the results. So it's like, okay, if it's a placebo to you, but it's not a placebo to me, then that means it technically works. So when it comes to things like subliminals or people who believe in their religions, like maybe they're praying or they're meditating or whatever, maybe they're eating a healthy diet and they have a strong belief that those things work for them and then it actually does work, okay, then it's no longer a placebo for that person. So I really think that this concept of placebo effect, it is so subjective. So why should I follow what other people believe? Oh, well, they think that it's not real, so I'm not going to use it. No, if it works for you, keep on doing it. And that's why I always say, if you are like religious or something, don't let me take you away from your beliefs. If you're spiritual, whatever it is that works for you, just keep on doing it because it's working. So even if other people are saying, oh no, that's just a placebo effect, you know, those the subliminals or your prayers or your religion, it's not real. It's like, okay, but it's real to them and it's getting them the results. All that matters in this life is the results. The results are all that matters. As long as you got to the end goal, who cares what anybody else thinks? And when it comes to subliminals, you know how they have those little videos, like the music videos where it's like, oh, you're going to have clear skin. So I don't think that the music directly affects your skin, but I think that music affects your behavior. I think it can affect your thought patterns. So if I'm listening to something and it's like reminding me to have clear skin, I'm more likely to change my behaviors and maybe research different skincare products so that I can have the clear skin. So I still got the same result. I think I'm on number 15. As long as you meet your internalized beauty standard, that's all that matters. Who cares if other people think that it's stupid for you to wear a certain makeup look or to have a certain body type? If you genuinely feel beautiful and if you have been able to meet your pretty privileged goals, then that's all that matters. The only people who get mad at your beauty are the people who think that beauty is a monolith or they have a scarcity mindset. Like I hear a lot of people, they talk shit about BBLs, for example. I don't have a BBL. I don't want a BBL, but if somebody else has a BBL and it helped them to achieve their goals, then why would I be mad about that? Like if that is genuinely how she feels beautiful, I actually don't care. And society doesn't care either. So do whatever you have to do to get the end result that you want. That's how I feel about beauty. As long as a woman is meeting her internalized beauty standards, she has met her body goals, she has met her aesthetic goals, then who cares? Who cares? And as long as she's like safe and, she's not hurting her health. And that's another thing, actually. A lot of people hide behind health. Like they try to pretend like they care about your health. Like, oh, you shouldn't wear makeup because it has toxic chemicals in it. No, that's fake outrage. That's fake outrage. If you really cared about people's health, you would work in the medical field. You would like start a whole campaign. You would start a nonprofit. So why is it that you don't care about people's health any other time except for when you see a pretty woman wearing makeup? Now suddenly you want to talk about, oh, well, that has chemicals in it. That's bad for you. That causes cancer. That is a fear tactic. You're trying to use fear tactics to scare women out of their own beauty because you are scared to embrace beauty. You're scared to pursue beauty. Oh, that leads me to my next unpopular opinion. Most women are too cowardly to pursue their own internalized beauty standard. They're too cowardly because some of them are scared of the attention. Some of them are scared of the scrutiny that could come with it. Some of them are scared of what people will think. So let's say she needs to lose 100 pounds or something. Some women don't do that because they're literally scared of their friends and family calling them out. Like, hey, you're just trying to be cute. That is an insecure woman's greatest fear, is for people to call out, oh, you're just trying to pursue beauty. You're just trying to look cute. Only insecure women fall for that shit and stop pursuing beauty. So it's like, how bad do you want it? How much do you want to look a certain way? And by the way, beauty is not always male-centered. That's another unpopular opinion. You can definitely experience pretty privilege without men being in the room. There are articles that talk about how even kindergarten students, like when you're a child, even the children that are considered cute, like if the teacher thinks the child is cute, a lot of teachers will pay more attention to those children in the school system. And that actually helps that child to get a better quality education. There are so many different like nuances to pretty privilege. There are so many different experiences that you can have when it comes to that. So anybody who makes pretty privilege male-centered is a male-centered woman, and she's also most likely an unattractive woman because she views men as the end-all be-all. So that's more of a scarcity mindset. She's basically putting men on the pedestal because she herself is not on the pedestal. If you're already on a pedestal of your own, you're less likely to pedestalize others. Okay, my next unpopular opinion is that social media is not oversaturated. You know how people are like, oh, it's oversaturated. There are too many people doing beauty videos. Too many people are doing prank videos. Too many people are doing TikToks. It's not oversaturated because the algorithm is literally set up to separate the videos based on categories. So if you feel like it's oversaturated, no, that just means you are not a good content creator. That's what it is. You're not a good content creator because you haven't been able to get a slice of the algorithm pie. A lot of content creation, it's really more of a numbers game. It's more so about consistency. It's more so about building a community, connecting with your audience. It's not about how many creators exist on the platform. Because if it was, then that would not make any sense, because then how would they even make money off of ads? Like, there is no limit to how many people can create a YouTube account. There's no limit to how many people can create a TikTok account. So this whole thing about, oh, it's oversaturated, it's not what it used to be. No, you feel outshined. You feel like it's oversaturated because you see a lot of other women doing what you wish you could do. Anytime somebody even uses that phrase, it's oversaturated. What they mean is there are too many other people doing what I wish I could do, and so now I can't do it. And so now I'm going to create this term, oversaturated, as an excuse to explain my own failures. No, other people can't take away what's already meant for me. Nobody else out there is just like me. So when I create my content, that's like me leaving my fingerprints on the internet. So if I truly am a unique person and I value myself as being unique, then why would I care how many other content creators there are? That's no different than the women who say, oh, my dating market value, it's lower because this other girl is pretty. And it's like, no, her beauty doesn't take away from mine. Her personality doesn't take away from my personality. Other people's talents and like positive qualities don't take away from who I am. So there's room for everybody at the table. So I don't believe in the concept of, oh, it's oversaturated. I don't believe in that. There's no such thing as anything being too oversaturated for me to succeed. Hell no. Other people don't control my destiny. They don't control the direction of where I'm going in life. The fuck? Especially not random people. Like, oh, I got outshined, in the natural hair movement, all the mixed women with the curly hair, they oversaturated the natural hair community. And so now the algorithm is just filled with them. No, your algorithm is curated based on what you click on. And it's based on your search terms. So if you feel like the algorithm is oversaturated, it's because you're using search terms that favor whatever it is you're seeing. So if you keep clicking curly hair videos or curly hairstyles and you're not putting in Afro, kinky, 4C hair, dark skin, then that's a personal problem. That is not the problem of social media as a whole. Oh, by the way, next unpopular opinion is that social media is a pathway to success, just generally speaking. If you are a consistent content creator, especially if you love doing it, that's a pathway to success. Do you know how many people are like doing their thing right now that I used to actually follow on YouTube? I used to follow Justin Bieber's YouTube channel from the time I was a teenager. I used to follow Chloe and Halle since I was in college. I used to follow Priscilla Renee, who is now Money Long. I used to follow Tori Kelly. Like, there are so many people who are in so many different arenas that started off on YouTube, and I remember following those people. So anytime somebody tries to downplay you being a TikToker or a YouTuber or a content creator, that person, they don't understand social strategy, and they also don't understand marketing. Because this is literally a free platform where you don't have to pay to have a YouTube channel. You don't have to pay to have a TikTok account. You don't have to pay to start an Instagram. So it's like, if I have a free way to show off my skills and talents and to market those things, why would I not do that? If you want to be super successful, like let's say you want to be very wealthy, very like a public figure, if you want to be like that and you don't have any social media, you are sabotaging yourself. My next unpopular opinion is that everyone has access to at least one privilege. If you are able-bodied, that's a privilege. If you have a family that is intact, that's a privilege. If you have any friends, any genuine friends, that's a privilege. If you're smart, that's a privilege. Everybody has access to some form of privilege in their life. The only people that view themselves as underprivileged are people who have a hierarchy mindset, and a hierarchy mindset means that you are insecure. And I'm probably going to do a whole series on that too, like hierarchy thinking, where it comes from, how to like stop it. But I really feel like hierarchy thinking, once you get rid of that, I'm telling you, you're going to get rid of 90% of your insecurities. If you decenter men and get rid of hierarchy thinking, you're unstoppable at that point. What other insecurities do you have? Name one insecurity that does not come from hierarchy thinking. Name one. I'll wait. Okay, I think I'm on number 16. Chicken breast is nasty. I don't care how healthy it is. I don't care how many grams of protein I get. I don't care how strong I'm going to look. I don't care about the collagen content. It's nasty. Stop trying to make all these YouTube videos trying to convince people that chicken breast tastes good. It does not taste good. It's not good. It tastes bad. I don't like the texture of it. I don't care about the protein content. I literally starved the other day because I was like, oh, all I have left in the fridge is like chicken breast. And I was like, well, guess I'm not having dinner. I guess I'm just going to starve tonight. Because that's how nasty it is. So stop trying to convince people that chicken is like the ultimate meat. It's just the best meat. It's so good. Oh my God. Everybody's just like a fangirl. They hop on the bandwagon. They're obsessed with chicken. And I'm like, no, you guys are bandwagon hoppers. You know damn well that chicken is not that good. It's not. And that's why when you go to an expensive restaurant, hello, it is a steakhouse. You get steak, you get some form of beef, you get other types of meat because they all taste better. They taste better. So stop lying to people. Oh, well, chicken tastes good. No, it only tastes good if it has some sort of breading on it. Like if it's a fried chicken, or it's like, I think it's called cordon bleu, or like the one that has the topping on it, kind of like chicken katsu, like the Korean barbecue. So that's the only time that it tastes good, is if it has hella seasoning, hella toppings on it. You dipped it in flour and then you fried it. That's the only time it's good. The texture of it is nasty. It has a bad texture. It can taste like string, or it can taste like rubber. Like, you have to cook it a certain way. You have to like put a certain amount of water, or a certain amount of seasoning, or a certain amount of flour in the pan. It's like, okay, if I have to do all this just to make it taste good, then it tastes bad. It's nasty, just like pineapples on pizza. That's nasty. Why would you ruin a pizza by putting pineapples on it? And then you make it worse by putting Canadian bacon on it. It's the same thing with chicken. If you have to go through all this shit, you have to slow cook it for 6 hours. You have to find all these creative recipes online. You have to make 500 YouTube videos trying to tell me 500 different ways to try to make the chicken taste good. It's not good then. It's not good. Number 17, nerds rule the world. Okay? Every innovator, every extremely creative person, they are nerdy in one way or another. Think about, like, okay, I'll use Beyonce as an example. Beyonce is a nerd when it comes to music. She is nerdy when it comes to vocals. She studies vocals. She studies performance. You know, she's a dance nerd. She's a music nerd. So anybody that has any form of exceptional talent, anyone who has become an icon, anyone who has changed the world in any way, anybody who is any sort of leader, they are a nerd in at least one area. You know, they're a nerd when it comes to whatever they're passionate about. That's literally what that phrase means. Being passionate, that means like you wake up thinking about it, you go to sleep thinking about it, you want to learn different facts about that particular subject. Okay, so that's what a nerd does. Nerds will read about whatever they're interested in. So calling someone a nerd, that's another way of saying that they are passionate. That's a very attractive quality. That's a leadership quality. That's an extremely attractive quality. And that's why I say that I like nerds. And I myself, I'm also a nerd. And I like that. Being nerdy, that's a part of what makes you interesting. I think that some people stereotype what a nerd is. They think a nerd is like somebody who wears glasses, or like they have acne or something. That they don't understand the definition of the word nerd. If you go on dictionary.com right now, it says that a nerd is a person who is extremely enthusiastic and knowledgeable about a particular subject. So why would you make fun of somebody for being knowledgeable? Only uneducated people think that it's bad to be a nerd. Only untalented people who have no passions, those are the ones who think it's bad to be a nerd. If you are a nerd about something, that means that you have a passion for that. Like if you're passionate about makeup, okay, you're a nerd when it comes to makeup. You keep up with all the different like brands and all the different stuff. Like you read articles about it. You watch like documentaries about how they make the makeup. Okay, so you're a nerd when it comes to that. Number 18, bad sex has a lot to do with bad communication. Okay, so if you're not communicating well with whoever your boyfriend is or whatever, that leads to bad sex. This is part of why I do not engage in casual sex. I don't believe in casual sex. Because there's nothing casual about it. First of all, there's nothing casual about me. I'm not a casual ass bitch. I don't look casual. My life is not casual. The way I carry myself is not casual. So why would I then go and engage in something that literally does not align with the core of who I am as a human being? So that's number one. Number two, when it comes to something like sex, you have to talk to the person about what you want or like what you like, because otherwise that guy is using either pornography as his standard for your body, or he's using his ex as the standard for your body. So it's like, hell no, you're not about to use your ex-girlfriend as a standard for how to interact with my body. The fuck? This is my body. So who better to learn my body from than me? How are you going to learn about my body by watching other people have sex online? That's idiotic to me. How are you going to learn about my body by thinking about your ex and what she liked? No, I'm the standard. My body, my choice. So when it comes to like bad sex versus good sex or whatever, a lot of that, it has to do with you communicating with the person. And I'm not talking about like hygiene or someone that's unattractive, because I'm assuming that if you're sleeping with someone, I'm assuming that hopefully you like them and hopefully you're attracted to them. Hopefully they have good hygiene. Otherwise, that's a whole other conversation that needs to be had, because why are your standards so low? But yeah, I feel like when it comes to something like that, we need to communicate about that. A man will never be able to just randomly start kissing me or something and then we just have sex. Absolutely not. Hell no. You're not going to be able to get anywhere near me when it comes to sex if we have not even talked about that at all. We're not even in a relationship. I barely even know you. Absolutely not. And that's because, I value my own experiences too. I value my body and everything. And, I'm not shaming women. Like if you feel like your body doesn't need a specific thing in order to like get turned on, okay, fine. That's your body though. Everybody's body is not the same. Women are not a monolith. So it's like, why is it that people can have casual sex and nobody cares and nobody bashes it? But then if I say, hey, I don't like having casual sex, I don't believe in it, then suddenly it's like, oh my God, something's wrong with you, or like, oh, you're too conservative. This has nothing to do with being conservative. It has everything to do with me not wanting to waste my time. It has everything to do with me wanting to be safe, not have diseases. And it also has everything to do with men getting on my nerves in general. So like for me, casual, like, okay, there are not even enough men for me to even be that sexually attracted to where it's like, oh, I need to just, every week there's some new guy or something, or every month there's a new guy. I don't get impressed by a man once a month or, once every couple months to the point where I'm going to sleep with him. No, if a guy is sleeping with me, that means that he's impressed me a lot. Do you know how many hoops a guy has to jump through to even get my attention? 90% of men in general get ignored by me. And that's just me. So I'm not shaming other people if, maybe you do notice 5 or 10 or 15 guys. I don't. I just happen to be extremely selective. So that's okay. So just like how some women are casual, some women, like me, are not casual. I am selective and exclusive with like my body and all that. So anyway, what do you ladies think? Let me know in the comment section and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.